Alrighty, tidy lefty loosey. Tidy like my shirt. Let's talk about brain zaps. I don't know why I made that joke. So brain zaps, what are they? Why do you get them? And let's cover some things that are kind of myths. Things that people say that help with brain zaps when they really kind of don't. So brain zaps can basically occur for no reason. Obviously there's a reason. They can occur without you withdrawing from medication, but the most common reason why brain zaps, brain shivers, electric shocks, fireworks in your head, brain twitches, whatever you want to call them, there's a million different sensations. The feeling's kind of different for everyone. The main reason that occurs is when you discontinue a medication. There are some medications that cause brain zaps when you withdraw from them, way worse than others. I'm withdrawing from Paxil currently, an anxiety medication, and I'm dealing with a little bit of brain zaps right now. And I'll tell you what mine feel like. Mine are particularly, this kind of seems to be a common thread or something that other people deal with. I get them worse in the morning. I find that when I'm just waking up and I'm opening my eyes, it's like a brain shiver. Mine feel kind of weird. They kind of feel like almost like a little seizure that happens for a second. Really weird, like nervous system freak out is what it kind of feels like in my head. Sometimes I get it in my mouth. Sometimes I get it in my arm. Sometimes it travels all the way down my back. I can get them really bad sometimes. I'll wake up and it'll be, boom, there's one, and then, like literally at that pace. It's like it's at a pretty consistent pace or beat. When I first start waking up, there's a zap, there's a zap, there's a zap, there's a zap. Like when I'm waking up and when I'm withdrawing from Paxil, or when I try to, because in the past I've had to get back on it because the brain zaps were so bad. I get them worse when I'm waking up. If I turn my head too quickly, if I look from left to right, I just had one there. If I'm looking from left to right, if I stand up if I stand up off like while sitting and I'm looking down, I get a brain zap sometimes. Brain zaps, if you get them, 99% of people that get brain zaps is because they're withdrawing from medication. They are completely harmless. I want to let you know that. They feel scary. It feels like you're kind of having a seizure. In fact, some people say they are kind of like mini tiny seizures that you have for like a sixth, seventh of a second. They do feel scary when they're at their worst. You feel disoriented, weird. Maybe you have a lot of brain fog, but they are completely harmless. So if you can get through the day while having brain zaps, knowing and being confident that they're not hurting you, they're not doing any damage, they're just physically uncomfortable, you'll be good. Let's cover some things about brain zaps that this kind of annoys me. When I'm on YouTube and I'm watching videos, people seem to think that there's cures for brain zaps, and there's really not. People say that omega fatty acids will help, or getting B vitamins in will help. When my brain zaps were really bad, I started taking some omega-3 fatty acids, and my brain zaps actually got worse. Not because of the supplement, just because, I was, each day I was further off that medication. Fatty acids, all getting your vitamins, eating healthy and stuff. If you're going to get brain zaps from medication, withdrawing from it, you're going to get brain zaps. You cannot completely evade and avoid brain zaps because you're taking supplements. That's not how it works. So the hard truth, if you're going to get brain zaps from withdrawing, you're going to get them, and it's going to hit you. Sorry. Now, there are some things you can do that might actually help. And for me, I can almost eliminate them completely. Remember, I mentioned earlier, if I look from left to right, I get some. If I stand up while looking down, I get them. If I bend over too fast, there are some physical things that I do. And for a lot of people, whether they know it or not, that they may be doing that may be triggering your brain zaps. One thing that helped me is if I didn't look, I kind of had to be like a statue. I had to be really stiff. But if I was looking straight ahead all day, wasn't turning my head, wasn't looking from left to right with my eyes, I wasn't getting any brain zaps. So try that, because there does seem to be a correlation between certain physical movements and then which would then trigger a brain zap. So I would if you're going through brain zaps, I would listen to your body, or kind of listen as to when you get a brain zap if you're doing anything physical. Again, when there's nothing I can do if I'm withdrawing off Paxil and I'm waking up in the morning, and it's been like 4 or 5 days, I know I'm going to get brain zaps. It's pretty uncomfortable. It almost kind of makes me feel like maybe I'm going to faint. That's not really, it's just the overall physical feeling of a brain zap in the head kind of, you know, it messes you up. It's just a complete, you know, jolt to your nervous system. I also feel like sometimes if I get a brain zap, it feels like I can't breathe. But these are all normal things with brain zaps. My brain zaps at my worst would go down my right arm, huge tingle, almost like an electric shock down my back as well. All the way down the back of my leg, into my hamstring. So, you know, they're really uncomfortable, and they don't just affect your head. I get them in my jaw. My ears would ring while I had a brain zap. Like I'd kind of almost hear like a little slight buzzing in my ear. But if you want to actually alleviate brain zaps, supplements aren't going to do it. For some people, it may kind of help, but again, it may be placebo. Maybe your, you know, brain zaps kind of can fluctuate throughout the day. They can be, you know, worse at night for you, and then someone else, they can be worse earlier in the day for someone like me when I'm waking up. It was very short-lived. It's only like a 45 seconds to a minute, and I'm back to the normal steady brain zap thing, as opposed to when I'm waking up, it's absolutely horrible. But I do want you to try, listen to your body, kind of listen and tune in to when these brain zaps occur. If there's a physical pattern or something that you're doing physically that may trigger it, because physical movements can absolutely trigger brain zaps. In fact, 95% of my brain zaps are triggered by looking left to right, looking too fast, moving my head a certain way, even like just slightly moving my head, I get brain zaps sometime. So there actually is a physical correlation, or there is a correlation between physical movements and brain zaps. Some people might get them when they're not doing anything at all. I'm personally, I've only been on Paxil for a year. So people that have been on it 10, 20 years and they want to finally get off the medicine, I can't imagine. I'm sure it's much worse for them when they're getting brain zaps, even if they're not physically doing anything. But listen to your body, study it, study the pattern. And if you can actually, if it's correlated with a physical movement, try and cut those movements out from your day. I know it's weird. And you're definitely going to be walking around and operating differently. It's not going to be comfortable. I remember I was in the gym here at my work. I was dust mopping the gym, and like this was a month and a half, 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago, when I tried to withdraw or get off Paxil the first time. I remember I was staring straight ahead, not looking around, not looking left or right, because my brain zaps were so bad. So there definitely is a correlation between movements and brain zaps. So listen to your body. See if you can pick up if there's any physical movements that are triggering the brain zaps, and then if you can, kind of change your habits and change your movement if you can. And if it's that bad, get back on your medication. I'm not a doctor. I'm not recommending. I'm not. This isn't advice I'm giving you, but this is what I did. You can always get back on your medication and wean off more slowly. Take a half tablet every other day. But again, I don't know your medication. I don't know your health history. I don't know what you're going through. So this is not advice. This is just what I've done. So try that out and let me know in the comments.